This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not busy tearing the roof off the suckers, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Metro League high school sports are back.
There's Jordan. Makes a stutter step inside, breaks a tackle. He's off and running. He's going to take it all the way.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio, your home team for Metro League football, basketball, baseball, girls soccer, track and field, bowling, and even more than that. We got you. Watch Metro League high school sports on Rainier Avenue Radio via Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You can listen in right at our website, RainierAvenueRadio.world, or download our app for free to listen and watch. Metro League High School Sports 2021 on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, powered by the Urban League of Metropolitan Seattle, King County for Culture, and the Seattle Mariners.
This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on RainierAvenueRadio.world.
This is your Rainier Avenue Radio.world community update on online Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. If you're looking for an AA meeting, find one every day online at aaphonemeetings.org. That's aaphonemeetings.org.
This is Brenda Charles Edwards, host of Seniors Matter. Join me every week to get information on activities and issues that impact the lives of older adults and their families. That's Seniors Matter every week on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle-King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Can't get enough of that. Can't get enough of that.
I don't hear anything.
There he is.
Come on.
Welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. It's me, Tony B. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It is officially the start of Best Starts for Kids Summit 2021. Oh, man. Wake up. It is going to be a great day today. We're going to have some guests for you. And then a little bit later on, actually at 9:30, Jess and Jen are going to come on and just kind of tell you what's going on today, probably give you more information about what's going on later in the week. Right now, I would like to welcome Kerri Gibbard Kline. Kerri, welcome to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm well. Thank you so much for having us today, Tony. We're excited to be here.
And we got a couple more guests. Let me make sure I'm saying the name correctly. Alex Pecot. Alex, did I get that right?
Alex Pecot. Yeah.
Pecot. Okay. Got you, Alex. And then also Emma McVeigh. Emma, welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Okay. Are you all ready? All of you, each of you, individually, collectively, ready for the summit this week?
Oh, we're really ready. I'm so excited.
That's what I'm talking about. We've got the BSK Summit 21, 18 different sessions. This is an opportunity for you also to hear 6 different youth folk sessions that are going to be taking place as well. Again, your hosts for this event will be Jessica Cafferty and Jen Tanaka. And I'm excited. Today is the day that we're actually going to do this. Also, there'll be keynote speakers that will kick this thing off, and just a whole week of excitement for you, in particular for those of you who, if this is your field, if this is radio and you're going, hey, where's my regular programming? We're interrupting it. And to bring you these special messages. If you don't know about BSK, Best Starts for Kids builds on the strengths of families and communities so that babies are born healthy, children thrive and establish a strong foundation for life, and young people grow into happy, healthy adults. Now, Best Starts for Kids is considered the most comprehensive approach to child development in the nation. Best Starts invests an average of $65 million per year to support King County families and children from the time that parents plan for a family and throughout childhood and young adulthood. And a BSK champion, that would be you, Kerri. So let's get started with you. Why don't you give us some background information on who you are? And we'll start with that. Give us some background information on who you are.
All right. Well, I'm a health educator. I work for King County Public Health in the Family Planning Department. And let me just interrupt my intro to talk about this real quick. So I apologize. I've got a little bit of Band-Aid, some raccoon eyes. This is my public service announcement as a public health employee to tell you all to go to the dermatologist annually after you turn 18. So I had basal cell carcinoma, got it removed. That's what's going on with my face. But I figured I was still going to be on camera, still show up this morning and just remind everybody to take care of our bodies. People of all shades of melanin can get skin cancer. So it's important to wear your sunscreen and go to the dermatologist and get things checked. So as a public health employee, I'm like, let's talk about it.
We approve that message.
Yeah. And so my role here is really supporting our students, Alex and Rayy, and then other Lindbergh High School students just like them who are working to increase the teens at their school in getting the HPV vaccine. So I'm the adult mentor for this awesome group of passionate high school students who are running a peer-led education and awareness campaign around HPV. We have some lower vaccination rates than we'd like to see for HPV in our area and in Renton. So we're working with students to just build awareness around making sure that you know if you've gotten the vaccine or not, going and getting it, and providing access to students to get that vaccine. So we can talk about that a little bit more later, but for the Best Starts for Kids Summit, we had proposed a breakout session, and there's so many exciting topics that we unfortunately were not picked, but we wanted to, bring a little bit about what we were going to talk about to your show today. So we're so thankful to be here. Thanks for having us, and I'm excited to dig into this conversation with you.
All right, Emma, welcome to the program, and give us a little background information on who you are and what you do as BSK champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone on listening in. My name is Emma McVeigh. I am a program manager for Public Health, Seattle King County. And I actually work on our immunization team. So our team covers all immunizations, and yes, including COVID vaccine. But my work has been specifically on HPV and managing this project that Kerri was just talking about. Also do some stuff with the Best Starts for Kids and work on improving adolescent immunization rates across King County. And so that's exciting work that's been happening as well. But this project, like Kerri said, is really exciting in that it is youth-led, peer education. It's a different approach to adolescent vaccination than anything I've ever seen before. So really excited to be here and happy to hear from Alex and hopefully Rayy too about some of the great work that they were planning for the summit and throughout their time as HPV champions.
And thank you, Emma. And Alex Pecot. Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
And Alex is a junior at Lindbergh High School. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm a junior at Lindbergh High School.
And Alex, last year, early in March, I was in Yakima, and your team made it almost to the semifinals in basketball. I think it was in the 2A state championships. And so, we got to follow Lindbergh, and we went to Yakima, and I think they went as far as the quarterfinals. So they had a really nice run up there. Congratulations to Lindbergh.
That's amazing.
Well, Alex, how did you get involved? Well, let's start with that, and then anything else you want to share about yourself as well.
Yeah. So I actually learned about this group from Rayy, and prior to that, because she's the big, she knows everything, and she was always talking about it. So I was like, I should be a part of this. It would sound really interesting to me. But prior to that, most of my interest came from the experience I've had in my sex ed classes and how there were lots of problems with inclusion. My sex ed classes didn't really have a lot of opportunities or lessons targeted towards people of all different types of sexualities. And they were also split between genders. And so it really promoted a lot of misconceptions about different types of anatomy. And they were all pretty rooted in misogyny and things like that. You think of locker room talk I had to deal with in middle school. And it was also a huge problem that really interested me on the topic of abstinence and how, sex ed classes should be teaching more than just abstinence. And, we should learn about the STDs, the STI, all of that, and how to prevent them. But we should learn more about different preventative methods where we could still actually have sex, for the people who do want to do that, how can we prevent that while still doing that? And that's when I learned about, vaccines and other types of preventative methods. And I'm just so happy to be a part of a group where we get to spread awareness about the HPV vaccine, because it is the most common, it's the most commonly transmitted sexual disease in the US, I'm pretty sure. So a lot of people don't know about it. So to be able to spread awareness about that is really great. I'm happy to do that.
God, man, just thank you for the works that you're doing, Alex. Now, we keep saying HPV and exposure during adolescence is a public health concern because in adolescence, it can lead to several types of cancers in adulthood. But let's get a bigger explanation. And Kerri, maybe I'll start with you. What is HPV? What is the actual term? I don't know that I can pronounce it. Is it human papillomavirus, or help me out?
Good job, Tony. I know that's probably why it's shortened, because that's just a lot of words right there. So it's the human papillomavirus. And basically that just means that it's a virus that occurs in human beings that causes papillomas, which are another word for warts. So that's what HPV stands for. And it does cause genital warts as well as different types of cancers. I think 5 different types of cancers. So cervical cancers, cancers of the mouth and throat, cancer in the penis and in the anus as well. And it's the second most common cancer for people with cervixes, for women and other people with cervixes. So 80% of people get some strain of HPV by the time they're 50 years old. It is the most common STD, STI, as Alex mentioned. And there's a vaccine to prevent people from getting the strains of HPV that cause those things, those more harmful things, the genital warts and the cancers. So because there's a vaccine and because it's not required that people get it to participate in public school, unlike other vaccines, we just feel really passionate about trying to prevent those more severe diseases that can be caused by HPV. And I really appreciate Alex just bringing up that larger issue around sexual health education. You all may know, you listeners may know that in Washington State, comprehensive science-based sexual health education is now going to be required for public schools to provide. And that has been a long journey to get there. There has been a lot of abstinence-only education, which research shows actually leads to higher rates of STDs and teen pregnancies and unintended pregnancies. So we're so excited that the legislature, the people of Washington, have put forward the ability for all public schools to be equipped to provide comprehensive science-based sexual health education, which really in the end is a benefit to all of our communities in so many ways, to prevent STDs, to prevent sexual violence, and to prevent unintended pregnancies as well. So the HPV Prevention Project is kind of one component of that larger effort that we want to have to just make our communities healthier and safer for everyone. So if there's a way to prevent cancer, we want to do that. And the HPV vaccine is an easy and accessible way that we can make that happen for our communities. So yeah, that was kind of a long-winded answer, Tony, but yeah, that's what HPV stands for, human papillomavirus. See, I can't even say it, and I've been doing this for years.
Rayy Cunningham has joined us now, so I want to bring Rayy on as well. And Rayy, Alex just got finished telling you that you were the smartest person in the room. So welcome.
I'm so sorry for the internet. Oh my gosh, I just panicked. Okay. Yeah, hi, my name's Rayy. I'm in 11th grade. I go to RTC, Renton Technical College currently, and should I speak about why I joined HPV Club?
Sure, go ahead. Well, you know what? Yes, and give us some more background information on yourself as well.
Okay.
And then also obviously talk about why you joined the HPV Club.
Okay. I want to mention that I heard you talk about how you went to state a few years back, I think.
No,
that was the most exciting
this was last year. This was last year. It was like one of the last sporting broadcasts before.
Yes, it was. And I remember that because my mom was broadcasting.
Go ahead. Say it again.
I was cheering at that time, and I remember my mom was talking about COVID. I'm like, oh, COVID's gonna it's gonna end soon. We know what we're doing. Got it all covered. Yeah, that didn't age well. But
were you up in Yakima at the time? Were you with the team in Yakima?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that was a wonderful run. I know we're talking about something else, but yeah, that was
sorry, but that was great. But like Alex mentioned, I joined HPV Club because of the sort of really hetero and cisnormative sex ed we had. And the data is really clear about the sex ed that is comprehensive and inclusive, lowers STI rates amongst teens, lowers HIV rates, lowers abortion rates, lowers teen pregnancy rates. So I just wanted to aid in helping have more inclusive sex ed, because the sex ed, even at public schools like Lindbergh, they weren't that good. And so I was actually at the clinic, and Kerri, who was Andy to you? Was that your colleague? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. My colleague Andy. Yep.
Yeah. Andy told me about HPV Club, and I just joined, and it's like been a role ever since.
Well, this is awesome, and this is kind of open to each of you. There was a lot of conversation on both sides about sex education, health education. It was on the ballot, and yeah, well, here we are now. So let's talk about the importance, and Emma, maybe I'm going to direct this conversation to you. I've mentioned yourself and Kerri as BSK champions. The other role about this is partnerships, and how important are partnerships to King County Best Starts for Kids in the role that you play?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say partnerships is how this project actually got started. So Best Starts for Kids, as you know, has hands in a lot of different places, and especially in the community as well as in public health. And this project got started actually about 6 years ago in a partnership between our immunization program and our school-based health centers. From this kind of dual need of, like we've been talking about, trying to improve HPV vaccination, trying to protect our communities from these preventable cancers and genital warts as well, but also trying to connect folks more with our school-based health centers. There are many school-based health centers all throughout King County, many of which are funded by Best Starts for Kids. And they're really a great resource for young people and people throughout our communities, but they're also really underutilized. Not as many people know about them, or maybe folks don't think that they're really there for them. And so this project actually started with this partnership of, how about we get folks together and get people connected to these healthcare resources that are available to them, And research also shows that folks who are providers at school-based health centers are actually really efficient at vaccinating against HPV. So this partnership came about as this way to say, look, let's connect people to this great resource. And in the meantime, we're also going to get folks vaccinated against HPV. And the other piece of this now over time, because Lindbergh, as folks may know, doesn't actually have a school-based health center on their campus. Over time, this project has developed from focusing exclusively on school-based health centers to now partnering with our partners like Kerri at the family planning program to connect young people to our family planning clinics that are more populated, especially throughout South King County, where there are fewer school-based health centers, fewer resources there. So this is a partnership across multiple public health programs. We've also partnered with different community programs in hosting events and in spreading awareness. We've partnered a lot with our school partners and other clubs to do on-campus work. And so there's a lot of partnership here, and we're really grateful that we partnered, especially with our family planning program the last couple of years to really bring students more connected and bridge that gap between healthcare resources and the young people that they're supposed to be serving.
Okay. Now, with the HPV vaccine, y'all help me out here. Is there an age that there has to be parental permission, and then there's an age where there no longer has to be parental permission? Is that correct?
Kerri, do you want to take it?
Emma.
Okay,
Go ahead, Emma.
Yeah, so that's a great question, Tony. So in the state of Washington, young people have the right to confidential health care for sexual health and mental health, starting at the age of, I believe it's 13 for mental health, and I think 14 for sexual health, although I might be off on that. So HPV is a tricky one because technically HPV does fall under sexual health. And so it can be confidential, meaning a young person can go and get their HPV vaccine without a parent's consent. But it is also a vaccination, which usually does require a parent's consent. And so actually in a lot of cases, even though from public health's perspective, it does count as a sexual health service, and therefore is confidential if a young person wants it to be. It does usually end up depending on the provider and the clinic where a person is getting that. So, my advice to any young person who is looking for that service would just be to ask their provider and see what their policy is, because it does vary based on that healthcare provider's policies. So yeah, it's not quite as cut and dry as something like a STD test, which is always confidential if you're that certain age. But yeah, HPV is a little bit different because it is a vaccine. So yeah, I would just call ahead or check and make sure.
Okay. And now Rayy, what is the proposal that you mentioned in the chat with me if we talked about it? We haven't talked about it.
The proposal was basically I wanted to tap into the intersectionality between race and class, as well as healthcare access. I feel like a lot of the reproductive justice movements have neglected the needs and wants of women of color. So we were just talking about some of these stereotypes that providers put on people of color and how we just need more access, not attitudes. We want vaccines, HPV vaccines, as well as COVID vaccinations. We just do not have the access to them because of healthcare coverage, geography, things of that nature.
Okay. Emma and Kerri, I got to say this, that Rainier Avenue Radio has a partnership with Public Health Seattle King County, where they're actually a sponsor of our high school basketball broadcasts. And this is just great information. I think we may have to get these two young folks back on the air during a broadcast.
Absolutely, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot sing enough praises about Alex and Rayy. They are absolute rock stars when it comes to advocating for their communities. I mean, you've already heard their brilliance this morning. And I just feel like they're two young people who really have something special. And the things that they've been able to accomplish at Lindbergh, even during this pandemic, is so huge. They're both just so organized, so on top of it, so smart, just above their class in terms of everything that they're bringing to the table. So yeah, you need to have them back. If you want to have an exciting broadcast during your sporting events, come on and bring Rayy and Alex in to chat
Thank
with
you, Kerri.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll chat about basketball, but they'll be chopping it up and bringing the important topics to you, whether or not it's sport related, and that's entertaining too. So yeah, bring them in.
That's what I want them to do. I want them to talk to their peers
exactly
while we're having the broadcast. So let's figure out how to make that happen. Everybody agreed? Alex, Rayy?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, we're going to make that happen at one of our high school broadcasts this year. We'll get that hooked up. We'll get Kerri and Emma to make sure that connection happens. You know what? This time flew by, and I really wanted to talk more with you, Alex and Rayy, but I don't want to run out of time here. So just really quickly, both of you, what is information that you would like to share right now to those who are listening, whether you're talking to your peer group, whether you're talking to parents, adults, everybody who's tuned in, who's a BSK champion or partner, or those who work with service provider organizations throughout the King County, throughout the state, and literally throughout the country. What is the message that you want to say about the work that you do and the benefit it gives to you? I'll start with you, Alex.
Well, I mean, I would just want to say that, I mean, our main goal is really to spread awareness about all of this. So if no matter where you are, there's always something you can do to learn more. And that would just be the biggest thing, to put in the effort to just learn something small, something big, all the resources are out there. Learn about what you can do to help other people out. Learn what you can do to, spread the awareness of the HPV vaccine, as well as other types of vaccines for not just STDs, but also for things like COVID. Spread that stuff around. And spread the disparities around, on that topic. A lot of people don't know about these things. A lot of people, at least in my own experience, they believe that, this is something that's happened in the past and that it doesn't really continue, but, it still goes on. Spread those things around and get it out there so that way we can start taking action and start trying to solve this problem. I mean, just in the beginning of April, a Bloomberg study said that there was 40% of the world's vaccinations that are going to the wealthiest economies, even though the wealthiest economies are only 11% of the population, and how wealthiest countries are getting vaccinated 25 times faster than poorer countries. So it's not just something that happens in the past. And I think people should really know that. But on top of all of that, just, help the people around you. A lot of people that I know would say that it's not their problem. And I think that, being considerate is a huge part of it.
And Rayy, anything that you would like to share with our audience as well?
To adults, I would say that education is the best preventative measure you can take when it comes to your children's sexual health. It says right here, according to National Center for Biotech Info, that around 90% of white women know about the HPV vaccine, and only 75% of Black women and only 62% of Hispanic women know about that. So using your resources to allocate that knowledge to women of color would be really great. Just a post on Instagram, just a comment when someone's spreading misinformation that goes so far. People really underestimate what social media can do, and just conversations, informal education. And I think that goes so far.
A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
Wow. Y'all, both of you, you're like Avengers. All right. I don't know. I've been watching Endgame and all this. You guys are like, you're just superstars, just incredible. I want to give Emma and Kerri opportunity for final words, but I'm gonna give y'all something to think about before you do, because we're gonna run out of time here shortly. I'm going to be asking each of you which of the sessions that you're looking forward to during this summit over the course of the next 4 days, with the number of sessions that are taking place, 18 of them, 6 of them youth focused or youth led. So you can think about that. But as we do, really quickly, Emma and Kerri, again, opportunities for final words. Emma, we'll start with you.
Just that other adults like myself, trust the young people in your lives to know what they need and what they want. Young people know they are experts in their own lives and needs. So really trust them and support them in the ways that you can for making their own healthcare decisions. And that's all I'll say on that. Thanks.
All right. And Kerri, same opportunity.
I want to invite y'all to an event. So I echo everything that's been said, and I wanted to highlight that we're having a movie screening on May 21st at 4 p.m. And we're going to screen a movie that's all about the HPV epidemic called Someone You Love. And we're going to have a celebrity guest appearance by Tamika Felder, who's one of the subjects in this documentary. So I'm excited about that. And then the youth listening session on Thursday afternoon, we're going to be talking about standing up a youth health board in King County for youth, by youth, led by youth. I'm really excited for that session in the summit this week. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for that one as well.
That's then you're gonna have to give me another one that you want to see as well. Okay, I got because it's just great. I got about 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and then we're gonna go to Jenna and Jess really quickly. Alex, what are you looking forward to for the summit conference?
I mean, I'm looking forward to see where everybody's at. I'm looking forward to see where all the activism is. I don't really, the only really point of reference that I have for that type of stuff is really this group. And I'm just really looking forward to see, what other people have done to counter all these problems. I think that's really exciting to see the progress made.
And Rayy, what are you looking forward to?
Especially the youth-led summits. I'm really excited to seeing people like us doing the same work or even more. I'm so into that. I can't get enough of what peer educators are doing for our community.
And Emma, 18 sessions. What are you looking forward to seeing over the course of the next 4 days?
Yeah, looking forward to seeing the youth keynote, all the youth sessions. I also have had a little experience with Feast, so I'm excited to see their session as well, and the Youth Health Board session. Yeah.
And I got about 15 seconds. Kerri, what about you?
Like I said, there's going to be a conversation on Thursday about establishing a youth health board in King County. So that is Thursday afternoon. I believe it's at 1 p.m. So you all should check that out. It's going to be a conversation about standing up a youth health board. It's going to be led by youth and created by youth. So it'll be awesome.
All right. Speaking of youth, I'll have Olu Dixon with me tomorrow for a conversation. That's it. That's all the time that we have. Jen and Jess are going to be up next. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again tomorrow to wake you up and get you started. This is Tony B for Rainier Avenue Radio saying, remember, whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are probably right. Alex and Rayy, we're going to get you on a basketball game and have you guys talk about what you do.
Excited.
Awesome. Thanks.